All right, so guys, after you have finished your third and final coat on your ceramics project and it's completely dry, the last step is to dry foot, okay? Now remember, before we put the first layer on, we drew that pencil line on the very bottom of our project, and the hope was that you wouldn't paint past that line. Some of the glaze was really runny, so it might have ran down past there. You might have just made a little mistake. We need to wipe that off. We also need to take off any of the glaze that's on the very, very base of this. We can't have any glaze on the base. Otherwise, if there is any glaze on there, it will fire and then stick to the kiln shelf in the kiln, and then we have to take a hammer to the project to get it off the shelf. So not a good method of removing the project from the kiln, so we want to take that glaze off, okay? At your tables, you guys should have a bucket filled with about half filled with water, and then you have these sponges. You probably want to wash these sponges off before you use them, because they were used to remove glaze before you guys used them. So there could still be glaze colors in these, okay? So what you're going to do, whatever you do, do not put your projects upside down and lay it on your table like this. The reason why is because most likely if you do that, you will chip the glaze on the very top of your project off, and then you'll have to go back and repaint it, okay? So what I do is I just stick my hand inside the project like this and kind of hold it like this. And then what you're going to do is get your sponge wet and squeeze out a lot of the water, okay? You don't want to have a ton of water in the sponge, because again, it will drip down your project and it could remove glaze that you want to keep, okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your sponge then, and you're just going to wipe off that glaze that got past that pencil line. So you're just wiping it off to that pencil line. So there's no guessing as far as how far you need to go. Just go to that pencil line. It's still there, even if you covered it up with glaze. Okay, and you can see what I'm doing. I keep turning my sponge around so I get a new clean edge. And then you just kind of keep spinning this around. Now, if you have like some of these red colored glazes, they do tend to stain the clay. So that's nothing to worry about. You just want to remove the bulk of it. But if it stains it, it's gone still. But it will stain it. So again, you just kind of take it and you just keep turning it around, getting a nice fresh area of the sponge until you have it all cleaned off. And do the same to the base here. Some of this stuff is just discoloration from being on the counter too. Now, if you have stuff that's stuck in the grooves or crevices of some of these creases on the bottom of your project, you may need to grab an X-Acto knife and actually chip it off, okay? This has to be as clean as possible, okay? If there's any glaze whatsoever on the bottom, we can't fire it. And you'll just have to wait in line. So the hope is that we're gonna do a glaze fire today. So if you want a chance, you guys are first period, so if you want a chance of getting in the first load, get them cleaned off, okay? All right, so that's it.